Howdy do, folks. I'm back. Yes, honey. Yes, baby. I'm back. I'm back. This motherfucker. Yeah, baby, I'm back on that motherfucking Moose's back, baby. I'm on that motherfucker. Bitch, they got a think she got a motherfucking nerve. What did I tell you, motherfuckers? What did I tell you? And I'm talking shit. You motherfuckers know where the fuck I am. So apparently I don't give a fuck about you showing up. Huh? Cause you can't treat you motherfuckers nice and like you humans. You gotta treat you motherfuckers like the fucking animals and the degenerates you motherfuckers are. So yeah, so that's what we're gonna be doing. That's what we're going to be doing. Because I mean, if one person thinks they could harass people, shit, open the door, huh? And you know, you motherfuckers, you know, the ones that gang up and all that, you know, you have to do all that. But it's, you know, one girl, but, you know, I told you, Jordan got upset if you didn't double him. Are you crazy? Huh? They doubled him and sometimes didn't even have a man to anticipate the pass. Cause it was like, damn, he gonna be doubled and keep ball. Huh? So check this out. I'm like, again, looking at a bitch who we don't know if she knows that B comes after A and C comes after B. Meaning we don't know if she know her alphabet. That's what I'm questioning, right? You understand that? But I got a few. This is whooping her. Hey, Purple Purple, how you doing, Plunkett? Hey, oh, that's Serena. Hey, honey. Yeah, yeah. So you have to regulate. Regulate. I want you to say something. Any motherfucker. Yeah. And you know I can catch it. Subject, abstract, message, and music. I'm catching it all. Uh huh. And just because sometimes I don't say that, it don't mean I didn't catch it. It means that, you know, do it all month. Anyway, so this motherfucking blueberry again is on here harassing women that she can't outdo. She can't even compete with in really no category. Right? Now, again, I don't fuck with prima donna. She don't fuck with me. Ain't no motherfuckers, you know, doing no side, this, that, and third, whatever. I just so happen don't like that motherfucking moose probably 25 to 50 times more than I don't like Prince, right? And it's not that I don't like her, right? And the only reason I say I don't like her, but she don't like me, other than that, I really don't have a problem with her, you know. Um, and the only thing I really even ever said anything to her, I think when she co-sponsored um, Alicia along with her House of Representative wig, on some shit that she was saying about me. But other than that, it's not no um forever back and forth and uh, she picking at me and I got to pick at her because again, people that got good sense that are principled knows like you go back and forth maybe two or three times. You have to pause it, throw and crush your ass, or it's dead. But because most of you motherfuckers are throw it off, stalking is what you turn to. Just stalk people. I was told more shit about, and I didn't even think that that many people read what I was posting or whatever. I mean, I don't give a damn. Still don't post it. But and I'm like being told the names of the guys. I'm like, oh Jesus. See, I knew I was right. Protect and secure and keep out the motherfucking news. The ones that you what? Choose. And those are the ones that, hey, look out. Now, what about now? Your family and friends, your business, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, because these motherfuckers will start shit with you. But this is some motherfucking craziness, right? I go look on this motherfucking Moose's wall. She has just, I'm talking about adding this woman. Remember, she had an issue when I added her ass because she knows she can't fuck with me. And really, she can't fuck with premium with them or whatever. But she's been overlooked pretty much. And again, really, why would you? And I'm sitting up here addressing this motherfucking dummy, and I ain't really addressing her. It's really fucking her because she want to fuck with this girl, but also contradict her dumb ass. But we gonna catch the film. I only got a few minutes. Only got a few minutes, right? So listen. Remember, this bitch, had a problem with, you know, coming out here and reading motions and um problem with people who were reading the motions. Well, just because some fact they were being read, you and that other motherfucking stupid bitch from Texas. What the bitch name is? Soggy Dog Face. What that bitch name is? With the costumes instead of motherfucking outfits and shit. What a name? Um, I don't know. I don't know what the motherfucker's name is. What the bitch name is? Oh Lord. Sonya? No, no, no. Sandra. That's the bitch name. Try. Y'all don't push me so far back. God. To the real motherfucking me morning. That's me a good baby. I don't try you without my goddamn mind. Should have never been on it. Yeah, but child, you don't stop. But listen. Oh yeah. So you remember she had a problem reading, motherfucker. What was this? And why she doesn't come out here? She ain't had a problem before coming out and reading it. But yeah, baby, well, baby, she know she ain't couldn't fuck with you can't. I don't expect you, baby. But with me reading this shit or whatever, I mean, and anybody can read it. Can you break it down? Do you understand it? You know, do you understand what is probably going to happen and what happened? Do you understand the steps? Do you understand the application of every part of this process? Right? Now, that is the rules anytime you take a case, whether it's actually in your specialization or, maybe you want to run behind an ambulance, or something like that, right? Maybe you want to practice in another area. Just because you were shown the basics and probably enough information to make you average in that area if it's a new specialization that you wanted to concentrate in. I'm talking about that be for doctors or anyone else, right? Like some people don't understand that in order to be a chiropractor, you first have to be a MD doctor. In order to be a psychiatrist, you have to be an MD doctor first. In order to be a what? Gynecologist, you have to be an MD doctor. They're all MD doctors, so they all can go in there and and see patients in the ER, right? But they chose to set up and to further study to be what? Chiropractor, psychiatrist, so on and so forth, right? That would be the same as a lawyer. Yeah. Let me put this down. Okay. So anyway, um, so and again, anybody can read. Anybody can read an article to you. Anybody can read this paperwork that can read again, you know. And if you offer your opinion, it's based off facts. But anyway, right. So I just want y'all to keep in mind and how many times this bitch said, she's come out here and act dumb for a reason. She don't come and show you her skills and all this shit. But she ain't have no problems back in the day.
Of the terrorist group. I don't know what they just got some group stuff going on. Like I say, I never came out here, Summer G, to be involved in really to dissect who all of these people were. My commentary that when I first started off, I was laughing at the drunken Larry stuff, but as well, taking him serious on the things that he was saying. Drunken Larry and Angela kind of got into it, and it left people. There's my beauty. Hi, sweetheart. Hi, I miss you. I miss you. I miss you. Meet you. So, they had those arguments breaking out, but what Drunken Larry and Angelo, in my opinion, seemed to have done was let the picture out here.
Even to pause that real quick, she showed up at that woman's wedding or whatever the fuck is going on. I don't know. I don't know if that's an old photo or a new one or whatever, because she said went, so I don't know. I thought the woman was married. Maybe this is a renewal. But again, I don't know. And guess what? Those people out there, they are not counted in my black history. Yeah, that little motherfucker too. That little munchkin. She be saying slick shit about my motherfucking ass too. But when I caught her ass telling a lie on my ass on her live, I came in that motherfucking chat, bitch. So you lying. And of course, oh, that's what she said. No, keep talking. Keep saying some shit. Because you're going to have to block me, bitch. Anyway, and that's how I feel about any motherfucker I come in your chat and you on that shit, I'm gonna meet you where you motherfucking are. Your motherfuckers gonna have to block me. How about that, bitch? She is. But anyway, she showed up at this motherfucking lady's place looking like the black broke smurf. Blue everywhere, all on her nails and shit. And when I tell you that motherfucker is stuck, this bitch still takes the 70 and no later than the 80 photos with poses from that era. It's like, what is going on? I know. Um, if when she was younger, if she wanted to have a cultural experience, she would have had to uh, somehow find a way to do it herself. Now I ain't talking about nobody, I'm just telling you what it is. Because you do run across people who are stuck in a particular time. And it's like, well, dang, you were fast and sleeping with all these people, and nobody didn't take you nowhere to get on birth control. And I know in my state, because again, I started having sex about 2 months before I turned 17. Yeah, I ain't cut no class to get it and all of that. It was in the summer. Okay. But we also had places and clinics where children, I don't know how young, but children can go, because I was a child, can go and get birth control, and you don't have to pay for it or anything like that. They even gave you like city bus passes and things of that nature. Because remember, I couldn't really go anywhere without my parents taking me, or I'm going with a group of girls that they trust, or I'm going with my cousins and stuff like that, right? And they didn't mind having me around, right? Kids and stuff like that that were older, because I know how to sit down. I wasn't fast. I wasn't going to get in trouble with, then you would be in trouble. Okay. And we weren't really going nowhere anyway, but to concerts, to games, and to events like that, right? Balls and stuff like that, you know. And let me tell you something. But over the last 15 years, right, I've seen black people make sure that their children have cultural experiences, right? Do stuff that black folks really don't do. Rock climbing, all that stuff like that. Go digging for bones, being a collector, stuff like that, right? So shout outs to them, right? If you seen the photos I put up on whatever, my child will collect all kinds of stuff. You know, she'll take her money and buy all kinds of little collector's items and shit like that. So I like that. But anyway, and you have like kids playing instruments that they don't typically play, so they're being classically trained, right? So shout outs, right? So that's what I'm talking about. when I say cultural experiences, right? Anyway, so this motherfucker here thinks that she can just bust on people's appearances and shit like that, and as if anybody would seek her out and ask her for any kind of fashion goddamn decision. Huh? Like you went to wherever you went with your the bottom of your motherfucking feet lighting up like you a motherfucking new Michael Jackson some shit. The fuck? Yeah, but anyway. So
on people with their allegations on who was right and who was wrong in their dilemma. So, and it's still kind of up in the air whether if Drunken Larry didn't say those things, you know, or the play out didn't happen the way that Drunken Larry said that it didn't play out, and then you had Angelo saying that, you know, like you put this shit together, you was the one that wanted to create the YouTube channel and bring it all out here. Angelo said that he was firm on not doing that, but he ended up supporting him, and then along came the contributions and things from the supporters of his team, and things just grew from that and exploded. And I keep saying that with a lot of the, you know, alleged channels that was in deep with the debacle, it just always seems that, you know, the money ended up being the common denominator of why they group, in my opinion, that side of the street started falling apart, like getting angry at each other. So you say you listening? Okay, okay. I'm just glad to see that you here. So that's good. I'm just
now we know that's not true. She's saying that the anti and that she's offering her opinion. Oh, boy. Child, she's the gift that keeps on giving. She thought, baby, I was in the wind. Nah, bitch. No.
glad to see you. Listen on, folks. So you wanted to know more about Azrael. Azrael, Jason, we left off talking about that.
First of all, that girl name is pronounced Azriel. Okay? And Sir Miguel's name is Sir Miguel, not Sir McQuail and all that bullshit. Sir Miguel. But again, nobody want to correct her. I don't know. Nobody's gonna say, bitch, how them, Spanish like names or whatever. Sometimes the alphabet is pronounced differently, or maybe silent or whatever. With English, there are rules, right? Try. Bitch, tell us about this school experience. When did your ass drop out? Or were you in slow class? People say, and it's okay. We know something happened. Because your diploma doesn't look like ours. Anyway.
Um, what today is Tuesday, Sunday night, and we talked about we don't know, in my opinion, how that's going to work out. Jason, is the mom going to, you know, go against the daughter? Will the daughter go against the mom? It's obviously somebody, in my opinion, is going to turn on somebody. That's just my opinion because in this motion, it's clearly stating that it'll show where Jennifer Bonjean may have found probable cause through messages from as a real mother, pushing her, enticing her onto this older gentleman for.
Okay. Why would she use, and I'm just listening to this part, why would she use the term probable cause with regards to Jennifer Bunjing? Hmm? Just making up shit. This is because it's not your field of study or training. Why would you use the term probable cause when speaking on Jennifer Bunjing?
Monetary gain, but Azrael may have taken a change of heart, and I wanted to be with this superstar forever, and one thing led to another. She didn't precisely do the workup order that her mom, wanted her to do. So I don't know, Jason. We're gonna have to sit back and see how that plays out too. Hi, Marquin. Hi, Keish. Hi. Shannon's back. Okay, so you say she was young, but she knows right from wrong, and she knows she made a decision. No one should be in jail for her lies. She needs to tell the truth, and she probably will. Her truth, in my opinion, was told on the show with her and her dad. I think that that was her wholeheartedly truth. You guys knew where I was. You guys know, good. And she went into really, hard details about that. In my opinion, she did. He may have been an ass most, shit, my hubby is, but I'm not going to put him in jail. I think the government had people by the balls. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I agree. So, will this motion by Jennifer Bunjean have a lot of people scattering like roaches? Will it have them probably redesigning a new program, a new agenda? Who's to say? Who's to say? J-Note number 5, Jason. If you would have took your butt over to Australia, then you'd have been caught up with everybody. You just so bad. I think she just got everybody like old.
How is he behind? And this is the answer she gives to maybe it's not an answer. I don't really know what she's responding to, but she's talking about somebody who isn't caught up. How talking about Jane Doe number 5 in any capacity means you're caught up or you're not caught up. How does it relate to what she's talking about and whatever he posted in the chat?
Shucks. Oh shit. When it comes to Jennifer Bonjean, another one of my opinions. I think that the narrative that they kept pushing out here with Mr. Kelly being broke, Mr. Kelly's broke, oh, he don't have no money. And then we saw actually how the government, the judges or whatever, was putting out the situations to regain his money, or seize his money or lock it down, where now they control.
She said the judges was putting out procedure, whatever she just said. Now again, I told you, I don't do no more lessons. Either you get it or you don't. Now, if I fuck with you or whatever, you can always hit my phone or this, that, and the third. But again, if I'm the fake attorney, then all of us would be sound the same. Since, apparently I use Google and you motherfuckers, you know, could use Google too, right? I guess. And any lawyer and any doctor tell you, especially in those particular fields, if you use a source like Google, then you need then you're pretty sure that whatever the search returned, it was correct, right? But if you just go with whatever Google tell you, you don't know if it's right or wrong. But if you worked in that area, went to school, whatever, you know. And as a matter of fact, you know where to go to get the right answer on the internet. Okay. So again, we all have questions of each other. Yeah. I wanna question my shit, I'm gonna question your shit too. And you can always do what? Prove it. Anyway. What up, DVY?
Rolling. In my humble opinion, I believe that they really thought that if they do that, if they restrain him from being able to have access to money or the outside world and limited contact and things like that, that once they proceed with this trial, and as we saw in what Jennifer Bonjean wrote in her motion, where she kind of is painting the picture that, hold up, there's some setup going on here, whether it was by the judicial system or by these allegations from the women, that they really thought that they were going to put him in on a habitat leash. They really did. So they run.
Huh? Put them on a habitat leash. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. Hold on. Oh, Lord. Hold on for a minute. Okay, let's see. Let me see. Hold on. I mean, it's a damn shame you got to do this for people like that. Yeah, I mean, the word, yeah, you have to look and see if there's an alternate meaning somewhere other than what you know habitat to stand for, right? So again, and she wants to go at prima donna with regards to this case, huh? As far as when it comes to, let's keep listening.
Through this whole trial, the juror was handed down questionnaires that in Jennifer Bonjean's motion, from what I'm understanding, believing that they were impartial. They should have not had the opportunity to be on the juror. They came in as biased. They were already alerted, alarmed about Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly from the media or the newspaper or from the hearsay. They was already prepared to find a guilty plea. So with all of this lined up in chronological order, right? And oh my God, they come back with this guilty plea. My humble opinion, I really think that they really thought that he wasn't going to be able to come back with nobody else. They financially tried to drain him or restrict his money, lock it down, had him pay out so much. It started with the first judge, right? Where the judge did not want to accept the $60,000 for the child support. Remember, he walked up in there and he said he couldn't get his hands on the 160.
She just accused one of the judges of making sure that he is goes broke, but two, added the judge from child support and to be in this huh. Girl, girl, you know, keeps on giving.
Thousand years old, right? And he came to court, and Greenberg was like, "Well, he can get this to her now, and we have to worry about the rest." And the judge did not want to hear it. No, you ain't going nowhere until you get the whole 160,000. Well, that was the first step right there to say, well, you know what? I don't care where you get it from. We want your money. You're gonna pay her. So when I start seeing the path, the journey path of let's see where his funds and stuff are. And it was a situation about the bank account, they wanted to check into that. And then they went on into talking about his royalties. Well, how soon will he have that? And we got to find this man's money so that he will not be able to proceed in an appeal case probably so soon or never. We're going to be able to have him sitting right here for the 199 years that they wanted to put on this man. But somewhere, by golly, here comes after the guilty verdict, and here comes this appeal attorney by the name of Jennifer Bonjean. And they probably, in my opinion, was not prepared for that. We all know that everybody is entitled to have an appeal, right? I don't think that they ever thought that, one was going to come that fast. Like, wait a minute, where did she come from? Oh my God. This is an attorney that just represented Bill Cosby and got him out, and and I don't think that they was prepared seeing her coming. I really don't. So she's here now, and she's hit some valid points on all of the counts of the racketeering, the RICO. She's explained somewhat of the Mann Act and in her motion to, enlighten them that this ain't what you guys are saying that it is. Something isn't right. This is not how this law is used on one person, is what she's getting in debt with on here, speaking about the enterprise. You saying that the enterprise is this pertaining something with his sexual preference of life, but yet in the Supreme Court, where the law is there in black and white, higher up, where they completely explains the definition and everything that pertains to what upholds enterprise. So, you got saying that it's consistent managers, budget, and all these people, but yet then they went after one. And then when it comes to the RICO, what does it say? Right? RICO is a drug supplier. You're running them in, running them out, and gun slinging and all of that stuff. And she says that that's not Mr. Robert Spencer Kelly's persona either. So who is it that, what is it exactly that you guys are charging him with? So she, in my opinion, feels that these charges was overreach, overkill. You want to manifest your way of using these laws that just did not fit what you guys are saying of Mr. Robinson Professor Kelly committing any crimes based on what her findings are. She also applies lots of sources. She's dug, and she's been out there for a while, so she may know this stuff by heart, and a lot of her resources by heart. But she pulled a lot of case logs, to run with her facts. How Alma? Hi, how are you? Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the chat. So you say you believe the case was closed to the public to avoid the questions on testimony that bond is dropping. Could be, because that's a possibility.
Lord, let me stop right there. Now, we all know why the trial was closed to the public. If you look on the indictment, it would tell you why R. Kelly's money was being garnished, right? It would tell you that. Now, I got, my folks over here and the people that listen to me, they're smart. So they already know. Mom not up asking the goddamn answer. Uh-uh. Cause that motherfucker for long enough have said it. I'm not teaching no motherfucking body nothing or whatever. And again, I didn't come out and teach nobody any goddamn thing. But if you picked up something from me or whatever, hey, well that's fine. I don't give a damn. I ain't gotta like you. Cause if you picked up something from any other attorney, whatever, you probably gonna be saying the same thing, maybe in a different way. Anybody wanna know why that is? And again, y'all, I'm stopping right just before I give you the motherfucking answers. I'm on this bitch who now she is the motherfucking legal motherfucking fucking guru around this bitch, right? She should know the answer. Yeah. You had and I heard that motherfucking one time that line Larry said something like, yeah, when I used to tell him about the mother what's going on and explain the shit and whatever, um, basics and pertaining to the case. Now I didn't know who was in the case and all that type of stuff, whatever. I'm just talking about general information. This was early on, right? Before I personally started downloading the paperwork and stuff like that, right? Because I didn't know I would be doing all of that. You know what I'm talking about. So I didn't really need no paperwork or whatever because it just tell me what's the charges, and pretty much tell me what's going on, and I can probably figure out what's really going on and what's happening and what will happen, right? So he talking about, yeah, I was on the phone saying, my friend ain't no attorney, whatever, but he will come on to you motherfuckers and say exactly what we talked about. Now what dummy gets legal advice or speak about the law with a motherfucker that's not an attorney? Huh? And again, there's nobody in this motherfucking sector that has been more right than me. This one. So, like, what else? And again, some of this stuff I don't remember. Sometimes I don't remember. the correct pronunciation or whatever because it was never my path. Okay, this goes to back to the motherfucking moose when she used to keep saying, "Yeah, no, I don't see her with no office. I don't see her with on the on on the blog. I don't see her in the interviews or whatever." What? Why would I be? But then get an attorney that where this is that specialization, their specialization, or it may be an attorney that just do it all or whatever. Then maybe they can have access to some, attorneys that's still practicing. And those are the ones you really want to motherfucking talk to, you know, because they're gonna get the latest and the fresh information with regards to the law or that particular, statute, and again the mechanics of it, and most definitely how to apply every bit of what goes on during this process, right? But it doesn't mean that your ass is not an attorney just because you're not on it. Like, and then she be swearing, she be having a slam dunk roast on the motherfuckers, and they don't even make motherfucking sense, and it doesn't apply. See, the reason why that motherfucker gets so mad at me is I'm gonna get some talk about some shit that applies to your ass. You have to lie on me and make shit up. And when I fucking respond to your ass with the motherfucking truth, then you wanna, flip out. You wanna take our back and forth in a different direction, right? You know they're gonna tell lies on you when your ass is winning. You know they're gonna dox your ass when your ass is winning. You know that they're gonna try to fuck up your job and whatever you got going on if your ass is winning the motherfucking fight. Hey, I get it. I get it. Just know that I'm motherfucking prepared. And just know you piss me the fuck off. If you ever come at me or whatever, I reserve the right to come at your motherfucking ass 5 years from now, 10 years from now. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Again, if a motherfucker ain't fucking with you, then people that got good sense or whatever, you stop fucking with them. But if a motherfucker like they keep on and encourage others to keep on and make a hate group composed of fucking motherfuckers that hate your motherfucking ass that just want to harass you for no reason at all, or because they feel like they can or whatever, yeah, you're gonna get it. So if I give it to you motherfuckers until goddamn it's time for me to exit this earth, you deserve it. I don't want to hear shit. You can wish you would stop when I'm done. Other than that, you should sit your motherfucking ass down and see what you motherfucking started some shit, jumped in some motherfucking shit that you didn't even have to. So I don't want to hear shit. I don't want to hear a motherfucking thing. If I come on this motherfucker and read and go off on motherfuckers that was fucking with me. On his shit. That. Your motherfucking ass up. Hmm. So, and the Supreme Court, God, I don't know what this bitch is talking about, but everything she said in this motherfucker is wrong, and it doesn't make any sense. Let me keep going.
See, yeah, it is possibility. So let's get started. Number D, she goes into the person enterprise rule. Separately, the government was required to demonstrate that the defendant was distinct from the enterprise. It is axiomatic that clearly envisions that. Is it up on the screen? Yeah, it's up on the screen. Okay. That the person enterprise will be distinct, and she got that from Bennett. This requirement focuses the section on the culpable party and recognizes that the enterprise itself is often a passive instrument or victim of racketeering activity. I forgot my goddamn twister so I could chew on the screen with my mouth open because you know that that makes you crazy too. It makes you not have those etiquette behavior. You know, you from the straight gutter. You can't sit and chill and just do you on the screen without even being judged by that as well. You know?
She's talking about me. Okay. Again, I told you I didn't even listen to this motherfucker. I just saw what she had said to Prima Donna, and I got on this motherfucker, and I see that she has the paperwork up. I already knew without a shadow of a doubt. I'm finna roast ass on this motherfucking paperwork. I didn't know she had the shit right or wrong, right? But I know the percentage. And most likely, whatever you said, this motherfucker was gonna be wrong or it's questionable or whatever. And this is a motherfucker that when with certain lives, I'm pretty sure she did with this one. She is preparing. She got, notes and all this and going on, whatever. But still get it wrong. Huh? And and takes it in a direction where it don't even make motherfucking sense. Hmm.
I'm like, whatever. Let's keep it moving though. Ah,
Again, right? I'm not the only person that hate to see people eating on live. Shit, I hate to goddamn eat while I'm motherfucking live behind the goddamn scene. And you motherfuckers get mad at etiquette and good people or positive environments and shit like that. Y'all get mad at those type of people and mad at that type of environment. Cause quite simply, you just ain't shit. Mad at the college students and shit. Talking about this is crazy. I've had motherfuckers talk about me being a motherfucking lawyer, graduate, whatever. It's more than six times. I had six, right? At this point. And be the first one to try to get their child into college. Huh? It's like, what is wrong with these motherfuckers? I done came to the conclusion. It's just some hating, ignorant ass, ghetto ass motherfuckers. why the fuck would I expect you motherfuckers to be too concerned with etiquette when you motherfuckers wasn't too concerned with going to motherfucking class? Shit.
The United States Supreme Court has held that a RICO defendant must have participated in the conduct of the enterprise affairs, not just his own affairs. The government pleaded cannot plead its way around the distinctness requirement by simply alleging that the enterprise is defendant's inner circle, and introduced a series of headshots of all defendants' former employees as evidence of an enterprise. The enterprise, as alleged by the government, exists because of its goal to promote the defendant and his legal and alleged illegal sexual activities. It has no function unrelated to the defendant. Under this factual pattern, the distinctness requirement was not satisfied. Because the government RICO prosecution under this fact pattern is entirely unique, there is a dearth of factually analogous authority on this issue. That said, guidance offered in a factually dissimilar cases leads to the clear conclusion that the government failed to prove an enterprise distinct from the defendant. In Riverwoods, Supra, the plaintiff Riverwoods Chippewa Corporation's Riverwoods claimed that through the acts of extortion and mail fraud, the defendant Marine Midland Blank coerced Riverwoods to reconstruct loan agreements between Riverwoods and Westchester Federal Savings. Later acquired by Marine Midland, Riverwoods purchased a property in Newcastle, New York to develop residential condominiums and obtained a loan from Westchester Federal Savings made for that purpose. Marine Midland later acquired Westchester Federal Savings and inherited the loan agreement. Well, according to the Riverwoods, shortly after the acquisition, Marine Midland offers made it clear that they intend to dishonor the existing agreement and that they engaged in extortive behavior for force Riverwoods to enter into a new loan agreement where with terms more favorable to the Marine Midland. In its complaint, Riverwood alleged inter ally, alea, I'm going to say,
Inter alia. Inter ally per this motherfucking dummy over there. But that's not a easy word, so it's not. But
under the plain language of the
this idiot has said that she think that she could hang with me in court, special on labor law. Hmm? Like she is really misunderstood her role over there as part of the goddamn union. Okay? Trust me, it ain't hard to be a goddamn union representative, a union president, or anything like that. It's not hard. Like, ugh.
hold on, I'm trying, I guess it tried to disconnect, but I think we're back. Are we back, you guys? Are we back? Check, check. Are we back? because it did disconnect for a second. Okay, I guess back. All right. The corporate entity may not be both the RICO person and the RICO enterprise. Thanks, Labuk. Um, Acknowledging that the distinctiveness requirement could be satisfied where there is partial overlap between the RICO person and the RICO enterprise, and that a defendant may be a RICO person and one of the number of members of the RICO enterprise. However, by alleging a RICO enterprise that consists merely of a corporate defendant associate with its own employees or agents carrying on a regular affair of the defendant, the distinctiveness requirement may not be circumvented. Finding the Riverwoods had failed to prove the distinctness requirement, the Riverwoods court observed that because a corporation can only function through its employees and agents, any act of corporation can be viewed as an act of such an enterprise, and the enterprise is in reality no more than the defendant itself. Whether employees of the corporation associate to commit a pattern of predicate acts in the course of their employment and on
Predicate acts.
behalf of the corporation. The employees in association with the corporation do not form an enterprise distinct from the corporation. The Riverwoods court scoffed at the notion that the plaintiff seriously contended that the actions of restructuring groups were anything other than the activities of Marine Midland employees carrying out the business of that bank. And the court reasoned both the allegations in the complaint and the proof of a trial shows that the individual members of the restructuring group were employed by the Marine Midland at the relevant time. Those employees were acting within the scope of their authority as officers of Marine Midland in all of the actions taken by the restructuring group, such as negotiating and executing the restructured loan and exacting personal guarantees from Shapiro were undertaken on behalf of Marine Midland and were directly related to the bank businesses. Well, the Second Circuit Court reached a similar conclusion in Discon in court, NYX and the X court. Their Discon in court was a New York corporation whose primary business was to provide removal services to telephone companies. Discon argued that the defendant, NYNEX, a holding company that controls subsidiaries MECO and NITEL, collectively, the NYNEX defendants conspired with AT&T and Technologies to eliminate Discon from the market removal service by defrauding the public. Discon had sued the NYNEX defendants for Silver RICO, alleging that NYNEX Group, which consisted of NYNEX MECO and NITEL, were three separate corporate persons, that the conduct of affairs of the NYNEX Group enterprise through a number of illegal predicate acts. The Second Circuit observed that the distinctiveness required could not be circumvented, but alleging a RICO enterprise that consists merely of a corporate defendant associated with its own employees or agents carrying on the regular affairs of the defendant. The Second Circuit stated that
Well, Miss Smarty Pants just is reading on, straight through it, right? She's not, breaking it down or explaining nothing to us, which, you know, but most y'all, I don't give a damn. But she's going harassing this motherfucking girl about the shit she's putting out and acting like this she as if she can critique it. Hmm. And she wants to say, "Oh, everybody's talking about it doing shits and giggles and whatever." Yeah, just like everybody now wants to do motherfucking reviews over here. Oh, shut up.
Where employees of a corporation associate together to commit a pattern of predicated acts in the course of their employment and on behalf of the corporation, the employees in association associated with the corporation do not form an enterprise distinct from the corporation. That's a lot to eat, you guys. That's a lot. The court observed that, like the
And because she is just like the motherfucking Chicago slickers, right? She's gonna say, "Well, that's a lot to eat," because she don't even know what the fuck she just read.
defendants in the Riverwood, NYMEX, and Miko and Naito operated within a unified corporate structure, and even though that they were legally separated entities, the relationship between NYMEX and
Entities. Now I can't see because it's not up there, right? It's probably entities that she's trying to motherfucking say. See, there is, oh my gosh. Being an observationalist and focusing on behavior, sometimes I think, depending on who it is, I think sometimes I get on people's nerve with that shit because, like, we'll be around or whatever. And I would tell one of my friends, to whoever I'm with, now that person's going to do this, this, that, and the third, right? And they do it or they do most of it and shit like that. And they probably wondering, why are you looking at people and trying to see if you can figure out what they're doing next and we're just in a regular environment. Mm. Now, true people who hold a degree in psychology would know the answers to that. But again, we're not listening to the woman who says she don't. Y'all heard every motherfucking reason in the world why she don't read the paperwork or whatever. But the first thing she does, well, maybe not the first thing she does. I don't know what prima donna said to her to make her put this video up to show, like, yeah, I'm reading the paperwork, and I'm also motherfucking offering my motherfucking dumbass opinions. Now, people are under the belief that a person's opinion can't be wrong. Yeah, your opinion can be wrong. Just because it's an opinion, it doesn't mean that it can't be critiqued for, critique to see if it's right or wrong or if it makes sense. Like, huh?
Medco, I wouldn't say that's Medco, and Nightail was not substantially different from that between the loan officers and Riverwoods in comparison to the bank. So in both cases, the individual defendants were acting within the scopes of a single corporate structure, guided by single corporate consciousness. Finding no enterprise distinct from the person where the defendant bank is holding a company and three employees were not associated in any manner apart from the activities of the bank. Applying the rules of the foregoing cases, the government failed to prove an enterprise distinct from the defendant by alleging a RICO enterprise that consists of defendants and his own employees, agents carrying on his affairs, namely promoting his brand, his music, and his sexual needs. The government fails to satisfy the distinctness requirement. Put differently, because the government alleged that the defendant employees associated together for, I think this my sister might be calling me, you guys. I'll call her back. Put differently, because the government alleged that the defendant employees associated together for no purpose other than to carry out the defendant's need, including his illegal sexual activity.
Now, queen of the motherfucking um, case law, and even stopped to even try to tell you what the argument is. So y'all do know what Jennifer Bonjean argument is, right? She's not breaking down, telling you, highlight whatever, some of the key components of the paper she was reading. And here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Smart people and most people with a degree, and especially if you got a degree beyond bachelor, will tell you that they probably couldn't have graduated without being able to do some motherfucking research, right? Probably couldn't have graduated. But we don't see what this motherfucker do. And she has claimed to be smart, used case law at work, and was reading motherfucking paperwork and all this shit and whatever. And she stopped because she didn't see it, rather get into an argument, whatever. But yet, you use the fact that you're here reading this motherfucking paperwork to fuck with that girl. Hold on. Let me see what else.
Employees did not form an enterprise distinct from defendant. Defendant and the alleged enterprise were one and the same. We're on E.
I don't know what's going on.
That was a long damn ringing ever. The government failed to prove that the so-called enterprise activities affected interstate commerce. To
Interstate commerce. Like what? But this motherfucker here claims she's legally sound. And I'm not saying that you can't forget that you can't forget the pronunciation of, of a word that's, even if it's your motherfucking specialty, right? But commerce so happens to be a regular motherfucking word that's out there, that you can go figure it out using the goddamn Webster dictionary.
Sustain a conviction of racketeering, the government must offer proof beyond a reasonable doubt that the alleged racketeering activity affected interstate commerce. Can somebody put the difference of affected and effected? There's a difference between those two. AFFECT, if you can look it up and put it in there so that the people can know the difference, and the EFFECT. Similar, but has a little bit difference of the meanings with them. What up, Rusty? How are you?
Baby, stop right there. Baby, stop. Baby, stop. It's a good thing I ghettoed up presenting whatever I presented with regards to the case, because this video, it says it's 3 years ago. I don't know if it's 3 years, almost four, whatever. I don't know. But it's a good thing she was listening to my motherfucking ass and taking motherfucking notes. Because the only thing she wants you motherfuckers to know is the difference between affected and effect. Like, what? That is not a word in what you've just read. That is not the word that needs explanation. How how it functions. I mean, it's really talking about how it functions in law, but you want to take the people, and she must think y'all just as dumb as her, because we remember our teachers drilling us about those two words. Ooh, girl.
Section 1962 declares that it is illegal for any person employed by our associate the activities of which affect interstate or foreign commerce to conduct or participate directly or indirectly in the conduct of such enterprise affairs through a pattern of racketeering activity. This provision anchors the case and affecting interstate commerce required. Thank you, Ms. Brown. The United States Supreme Court has determined that an enterprise is directly engaged in the production of distribution or acquisition of goods or services in an interstate commerce. However, consistent with the liberal construction clause of the RICO Act, some courts have had that the RICO activity of the enterprise need only have the minimum of effect. There's that effect, the word. Thank you, Keish. Very important. Effect on interstate.
That word is not very important. She just remember it, knowing the differences between the two in school was a big deal. Trippy shit. This is some trippy shit. Oh.
This court instructed this jury consists with the view that the government need only prove that beyond a reasonable doubt that the enterprise had a minimum effect, and get the context of what is being said right there, misconstrued. I just wanted to point that out. So, this court instructed.
She probably had a problem with effect being in that motherfucking piece she's reading. Because I'm pretty sure a person with, my gosh, our motherfucking goddamn education know the difference in between those words, and they would also know that it's probably not a big deal how I'm making it that those words appear. So she was probably got stowed away in that motherfucking house. He's so smart. But if he's so smart, why are you so dumb? Huh? Why are you so damn dumb? Who calls that? Want to harass these people about them motherfucking 2 words?
Jury consistent with the view that the government needs to only prove that beyond a reasonable doubt that the enterprise had a minimal effect on the interstate commerce. This court further instructed the juror that it is not necessary for the results affected interstate or foreign commerce. Rather, it is the enterprise and its activities considered in their entirety that must be shown to have had that effect. No source was provided for this specific statement of the law. Assuming the government was only its effect on interstate commerce, the government failed to establish that element the element by proof beyond a reasonable doubt, because the existence of the enterprise in this case hinges on the specific activity of promoting defendant's illegal sexual activity rather than the promoting his music. The government was required interstate commerce. Courts have held that to satisfy RICO, only the enterprise, not the predicate acts themselves, must affect interstate commerce. However, that is only where there a nexus between racketeering activities. While the government may and did argue that the defendant activities centered around promoting and performing his music affected interstate commerce. Ooh, the charged racketeering acts are untethered to those activities. The government cannot run the affecting commerce. This has no connection to the charged racketeering.
You was no. As I'm trying to see if she offers an opinion.
An enterprise turns on its claim that the purpose of the enterprise equals sexual activities and create pornography, albeit for his own personal use. Thus, the government does have to prove that those activities affected interstate commercial and sexual activities with young women under the age of 18, exposing adult women to herpes and or videotaping his sexual activities with individuals under the age of 18 cannot be said to have any impact on interstate commerce. The minimus effect approached her amounts to an unconstitutional extension of Congress' commercial power and is contrary to RICO's distinctively economic legislative history. It is beyond debate that the legislative history and the congressional findings accompanying the act reflect Congress' prevailing criminal infiltration into legitimate businesses. Some scholars have argued that the eradicating criminal infiltration of legitimate business activities was the act's only purpose. That's the Gerald E. Lynch, the RICO, the crime of being a criminal. She found it from there. Admittedly,
As you see, she is making um, and highlighting things that is, is somewhat, she could do comfortably, right? Like, like, especially me, I don't have a reason to. I would never point out that they, whatever she read, that's where that's where Jennifer Bonjean got the information from. Like, what? I mean, you call in between. No, what you call it as in between. I'm sorry. Somebody talking about regular school level informal legal environment, right? Like, bitch, what?
the Supreme Court in Turkey sanctioned the application of legal enterprise may be a wholly illegitimate organization. Scholars have observed that Turkey marked an expansion in RICO prosecution. 764 AM, March 2008, D'Angelo writes, the first wave of expansion extended RICO in
Let me
the
see if I can
areas
find something else.
Well, according to Geronda, during her 6-month relationship with camera and on an iPhone, the government produced no with Sylvia raising the money for the petition. You
Let me see.
This is what happened with the R. Kelly situation. Let's talk a little bit about that. That doorbell is loud. Oh, she at the front door. Hold on for me.
Oh, so what?
Let's talk about what?
And it's a good thing she stopped trying to tackle the paperwork. It's a good thing. Because, baby, while you on that talking about old ass shit, old ass photos, shit you don't even understand. when it comes, just fast forward and talk about today. Like, I would have waited till you read the paperwork, then I would come back, and then I would do what I do on it, and I would have drug your ass with your own motherfucking goddamn reading of the goddamn paperwork. If you don't know what the shit mean, whatever, because I expect you to, not to know the legal parts or whatever, but you want to center in on some motherfucking Webster Dictionary motherfucking shit, and then try to make that a big deal when it's not a big deal. Not really. It told you why. They told you why they're using the words effect and effect. Now, it's not written out. Hey, we're using the word effect and effect. Because again, when they submit these motherfucking documents and shit, they're not talking to you. Okay? But I expect this motherfucker him to go all through this motherfucking paper and try to call me a lie when I say that why they are spending so much time on effect and effect. See, what I just did focuses on what? Comprehension. Meaning, especially when it comes to law. Can tell y'all all the time. Most of it's enumerated, but there's a part of it that's unenumerated, right? You have to be able to deal with both parts. Yeah. Mm, 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 mm. And again, I ain't getting about no answers. Let me see.
Okay, I'm all done. Just it those two and that's that. Jan to travel to California. So insufficient evidence
See why this is the last motherfucker that should be trying to roast or trying to critique a motherfucker on any goddamn thing. Are you crazy? Are you motherfucking crazy? Hold on. Hold on. Yeah, she is really coming for this girl. Um, to this motherfucking goddamn sector. saying, now this is what this is one thing that she used to emphasize to prima donna. Prima donna news. Here, here go, wait a minute. Here go and try to figure out who's lying on who between Nicole and Greenberg. Just maybe you can get the answers you need for ineffective. Try this motherfucker him is trying to give advice, instruction, or direction to prima donna for her to must be get her shit right. Because I'm assuming that she feels like whatever prima donna posted, and I don't know. I'm just gonna be going off of them here. Man, now in a simplistic way, she's probably trying to say that your focus is wrong because this bitch is simple. She's not trying. But let me read. Just maybe you can get the answers you need for ineffective attorneys. So she's seen where ineffective assistance in the paperwork somewhere or discussed, and she wants to somehow upstage prima donna with what she thinks. What reason? Maybe you can also ask R. Kelly who were the people who that got in his head to hire Nicole and Farinella spell check that man case like amateurs. What? Then she's adding the time in this video. Doug says R. Kelly is a active. Wait a minute. Let me make it big. That's what I'm trying to see. Actively, hold on, trying to see, involved with his attorneys. Mm, mm. Hold on, y'all. Give me a second. Come here, little baby. Oh, no. Oh, hold on. Lord, I'm on the wrong side of this. Um, I'm probably gonna have to go. Hold on. Anyway, child. So I ain't got that long. Anyway, um, she is on here. First of all, hold on. First of all, she need to ask this dummy. How do you spell attorneys? Prima, I know you don't engage into the back and forth, whatever. But this idiot here is so easy to put down like a dog. Talking about critiques. How do you spell attorneys? The following program. How? Okay. It says this to me would make it somewhat impossible for R. Kelly to argue in a motion on ineffective counseling. First mistake: who hires an ex prosecutor? A prosecutor thinks like a prosecutor. Hold on, hold on. Child, we did good. I said she must be sent this puppy to England or something and got formal training. Oh, she was doing tricks and all this here. Ain't even bite me, nothing like that. I wasn't even scared either. She went outside? Mm-hmm. All right. Anyway, she's saying who would hire an ex prosecutor to be a defense attorney? This some of this should already tell you that baby, like first of all, prosecutors oftentimes go to private practice. Stupid. Oh, I'm so glad I'm stopping with just before I give the guy their answers. Because, baby, I wish he tried to tackle anything I'm questioning and get it wrong. Girl, bye. First mistake: who hires an ex prosecutor? A prosecutor thinks like a prosecutor. She has, quote unquote, you will find him guilty as an opening statement. But so she made a mistake. She's obviously been practicing for, I don't know how long, right? As a matter of fact, a prosecutor is probably one of the ones you really want to hire first and build a team around them. Or, they, it depending on how, like most times, maybe one or two firms, but if you got whatever he got going on, that thing at one point, he had like lawyers from like three or four different firms, right? Hold on. Hold on. Mm-mm. But anyway, Um, hold on, y'all. Me training, I'm just talking to some people about uh some cases and stuff like that. Yeah. So anyway, first of all, it's the proper way would be no, it's good. The proper way would be quote and make the quote and then say unquote, right? All right, give me a break. Freedom. I don't know. She been with had that for a minute, but yeah. So I only got the whistle. Hold on. Who is Lamb? 88 Lamb on the Cowboys, Lord. Oh, okay. Anyway, y'all, let me wrap it up here. But yeah, you gonna look on that wall and you see nothing but harassment, child, of this woman, and she can't even spell the word attorneys. It literally has it IES. Like what? Anyway, I have company, so let me go ahead on for a minute, right? Anyway, not sure how I might write something. I might go across the street, but hold on. All right, y'all. Someone who is nice, child. You do not have to be a Dallas Cowboy fan when it's just don't make any sense.